Hey guys, Varanice here. Today we're going over the November 3rd auto chest balance change patch notes. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these changes. So let's get into it. Up first we've got a buff for Venom. Venom's getting 50 more health at 1 star, 100 more health at 2 star, and 200 more health at 3 star. I think this will mostly be a buff to 9 mage. Venom will be a little bit tankier, so we might get a couple more autos in, or maybe one additional ult. I don't believe Venom really sees much play in any other builds right now, so I think this will primarily help out 9 mage builds in dealing with hyper carries a little bit better. Next we've got a buff for Warpwood Sage. Warpwood Sage will be dealing slightly more magic damage at 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star with its ultimate. Again, I actually think this will be mostly noticeable in 9 mage. This is a 20% damage increase to its ultimate at 3 star, which also scales with the 9 mage debuff, so it'll help Warpwood be able to clean up at the end of the rounds a little bit more efficiently, stunning whatever he's fighting for a little bit longer each proc that this goes off. Next we've got a buff to stabbing gloves. The unit that has stabbing gloves equipped will take 10 less magic damage per second, I believe. This is magic damage. I'm not quite sure why this change is happening. Personally, I feel like this item's already really good. But maybe Droto's data was showing otherwise, or maybe people weren't crafting it quite as much as they'd want, but I mean, this item will only be even better after this patch. Next we've got Blade Bracer. Blade Bracer has a 5% increased chance to do the AoE when the unit that has the item equipped gets hit. I think this item is definitely pretty underbuilt right now. When it was first previewed, I think it was originally shown to have a 50% chance, which seemed insane. So I think this item has a lot of potential to be better, but I'm glad to see that they're doing slow incremental changes like this to not overbuff it. We'll see if this is enough of a change though. It's a 20% increase from 20 to 25. And the legendary version of this item, Crimson Heart, also got the same change. I actually think this item is a little bit better than the base item, other than just its scaling from epic to legendary. So we'll see if people start prioritizing this over other legendaries or not. Next we got our first nerf. Our first nerf is Glacial 6. I believe it stacks like 16 times or something like that. It got changed a couple months ago, but each attack will now only add 15% attack speed instead of 20. This is a pretty massive nerf because this applies to each attack that stacks. So this is probably like something like 50-40% less attack speed once your unit gets fully stacked up. So I think this will significantly impact Glacial 6 in the late game. Glacier 6 in the late game is still probably going to be pretty good, but it'll probably be a little bit more beatable now, which is good. It's been really strong for a very long time. Next we got a nerf for Horn 4. The Sun Chaser totem that does the disarm will be dealing 50 less damage, and the Skydome totem that silences will deal 200 less damage. I don't feel like the damage on the totems is that impactful. 400 to 200 on the silence is pretty significant, so I guess they want to weaken Horn's matchup into Divinity Caster comps or like 9 mage. I don't think this will change Horn's matchups that significantly though, so I think this is a pretty minor nerf. Next we got a nerf for 4 Warlock. 4 Warlock's going from 30 to 25% lifesteal to attacks and abilities. I think this is coming because of how accessible 4 Warlock is currently with 2 Wizard. 2 Warlock right now I believe gives 15%, but you almost always are playing Wizards to get 4 Warlock. So I think this brings 4 Warlock more in line with the scaling of 2 Warlock. I don't think this is a huge change, but maybe it makes killing carries a little bit easier now because they have slightly less lifesteal. Next, we've got a nerf to the health of Soul Reaper. Soul Reaper is losing 50 health at 1 star, 100 health at 2 star, and 200 health at 3 star. I mean, this might mean that your Soul Reaper gets 1 less cast off. He already heals himself for quite a bit between his own ability healing, and generally he's played in comps that have Warlock. So this combined with the Warlock 4 nerf, your Soul Reaper is probably getting 1 less ultimate off before he dies, so he'll be a little bit easier to kill. Seems reasonable. He can be really strong. Next we've got a Dominator nerf. Nice. So Dominator's bubble, it's called Sword Field, I guess. It's going to be lasting half a second less at 1 star and 2 star, and is unchanged at 3 star. I don't see many people 3-starring Dominator right now, so I don't think that really matters. Doesn't really need nerf. 2 star is pretty significant. It's a 10% duration loss. I still think this build's gonna be really good, but this means that you probably get like 1 less auto in during the bubble, which I'm totally fine with. This build's pretty frustrating to play against, so I'm happy to see any nerfs come this way to this build. And yeah, that's our last change. So overall, I think there are a lot of small buffs to 9 Mage, which is probably good. 9 Mage is in a weird spot in the current meta with things like Divhorn Shaman and Greater being very frequently played. 9 Mage is kind of struggling a little bit, even though they have a really high power level on paper. They have a lot of specific matchups that they struggle with, and I think that this should help them a bit in those matchups. There's a couple of strange nerfs to Warlock in this patch. Maybe they think that 4 Warlock is a little bit too consistent now, or a little bit too gold efficient. Not quite sure, but a decent amount of changes to that. I like to see that they're nerfing Glacial 6. That should help with late game diversity quite a bit. And Dominator nerf is always solid. I'm definitely most surprised to see the stabbing gloves changes. Those seem pretty out of left field to me. Didn't really feel like these needed buffed, but maybe again there's some kind of data that they have that I don't know. But yeah. Let me know if you enjoy this content. Drop a subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. Thanks. I'll see you guys later.